Get away from me! God!
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we will explore the lies surrounding the abuse narrative propagated by the purple-haired movement against men. We'll delve into the other side of the coin. The heightened violence among lesbian couples, currently 75% higher than all others. We'll uncover a case where a woman took the life of her partner to steal her money. Today, we'll find out if it's true that everything is the man's fault. Before we begin, we want to thank you for being here. Your support means a lot to us. If you like what you see, we invite you to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. We'd also love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more people. Thank you for being part of our project. Let's get started.
Why is the divorce rate for lesbian couples so high? Same-sex marriage as a legal institution has been around for long enough that there are now long-term studies about the state of marriage among gay couples, and although the field of research is still new, there are some interesting trends. In most of these studies, lesbian couples divorce at a much higher rate than that of gay male couples, and in some studies, even divorce at higher rates than straight couples. An ONS study in the UK shows that lesbian couples are 2.5 times more likely to divorce than gay male couples. An NIH study in the US found that 12% of lesbian couples who adopted children divorced compared to 2% of gay male couples and 8% of straight couples. In Norway, 53% of lesbian marriages in 2003 ended by 2018. But why is this happening? There are a few hypotheses. It could very well have to do with the stereotype that lesbian couples are quick to jump into committed relationships without really thinking if they are compatible with each other. It could also be that women generally have higher standards for relationships and are less likely to stay in unsatisfactory partnerships. Queer women don't have the social pressures of straight women to stay in relationships where they have to tolerate bad behavior such as infidelity or abuse or other issues that would not cause other couples to divorce. Women in same-sex couples are also more likely to have children than men in same-sex couples. And women in general initiate divorce more frequently. Some cultural critics also bring up the idea that marriage as an institution never really favored women to begin with, so it's not hard to believe that women in same-sex couples would find the institution not satisfactory. It's going to be interesting to see if these trends continue as same-sex marriage becomes more recognized worldwide.
Women asking for divorce. Nothing new under the sun. Men who have had relationships, whether married or with a girlfriend, can come to understand the whims and tantrums that women can become. Also, to maintain a healthy relationship, we have to endure and overlook certain attitudes to support our partner. Here are those small differences that women overlook. First, women are faithful to their emotions, so they will act according to how they feel. This is more controllable when respecting the male authority figure. Next, for women, taking responsibility is like kryptonite. So imagine two liars together trying to deceive their blessed female intuition by telling lies to cover up that they are deceiving each other. Lastly, all men know that a woman is like a cute kitten that sometimes we have to take out for a walk and please so that she doesn't throw tantrums. Imagine two women in a house with tantrums. Where do you think those emotions will end up? Of course, fighting. That's why they separate more, and there is more violence in their relationships. Brothers, nature does not make mistakes.
Proof men aren't the main problem in relationships.
Could not resist, so I had to look it up. From the Office of National Statistics, from a 2019 study, in ever-increasing numbers, we are now at a lesbian divorce rate of 72%. So the top 4 reasons that they are reporting getting divorced is feeling ignored, inequality in the partnership, adultery, and domestic violence. Personally, I feel like this lends some weight to men's arguments and complaints about how women are behaving in relationships. Because when you have lesbian divorce statistics that look like that, the girls are kind of telling on themselves.
How long do you think we got before women claim that statistics are sexist and shouldn't be used against the female gender? And just in case you're wondering, the divorce statistics for gay marriage involving 2 men is only 16%. Some women love to hop in my comments section and say, you should just date men, without realizing that that's proving my point. When I see a lesbian couple, I think to myself, Which one of them is going to have to take accountability? Which one of them learned to read minds, became emotionally intelligent, and can create a safe space without being too nice because nice girls finish last, right? But everybody knows how females really roll when it comes to other women. The standards are set low. They don't judge them for being broke. They don't judge a 3 or 4, but they both end up before a judge when bad traits get exposed. But women say content like this is what's causing division. I guess calling a spade is something we shouldn't mention.
I say taking responsibility for women is like kryptonite because in today's society, every truth that was universally known to be true is now called misogynistic. Of course, the truth hurts, and it hurts even more when it comes with data to back it up. But according to all those in the purple-haired movement, the problem was men. Do you know how many things men do to keep women safe and secure? In a relationship, the man has to be the provider, the protector, the one who takes care of the family's assets, the one who has to handle any situation in the house. If the woman gets sick, the man has to take care of her and pay her medical expenses, in addition to supporting her financially. Do you think a woman wants to replace all of that in another woman's life? Even when a man does all this, women still look for something to complain about. Even when you buy them a house to live in, they complain about splitting things 50-50ths with the man. Now imagine them living together, having to cover each other's expenses, especially putting up with each other's bad temper. Brothers, it's not misogyny. It's the truth. Watch another woman complaining in the next video.
It comes as absolutely no surprise to me that somebody with this username would be spouting lesbophobic bullshit. But let's talk about it. Are lesbians abusers? So I believe you're referring to the fact that around 44% of lesbians and 61% of bisexual women have experienced some form of intimate partner violence. While this is higher than the percentage of intimate partner violence that straight women experience, you're ignoring one core detail. Lesbians are not the perpetrators of that violence. 79% of Sapphic women identify as bisexual. And within the bisexual community, 84% of them are currently in a relationship with somebody of a different gender. And that doesn't even account for the amount of bisexual women and lesbians who have a previous history with men. According to the National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey, 89.5% of bisexual women have solely experienced intimate partner violence from men and men alone. And that doesn't even mean that of the remaining 10.5% that there was a lesbian involved, let alone solely lesbians. And of the cases of lesbians who have experienced intimate partner violence, 32.6% of the time involved a male perpetrator.
So according to what he says, even when it's them who start the fight, it's also a man's fault. Then he'll say they're violent because they lack a father figure. Brothers, for women, taking responsibility is like kryptonite. Why doesn't he say that women can be just as violent as men? Men in relationships with women have experienced violence from women, but men don't talk about it. When they do, they're just laughed at, even by the police. This leads men to stay silent. But among women, there's no man who will stay silent and not respond to abuse. They'll resort to violence until the stronger one wins. Yet somehow, if women can't control their emotions, it's apparently the man's fault. Then they'll say they're violent because they once talked to a man, but she says she's not violent. Watch the next video to see what a woman is capable of.
What is up, people? Hello. So the other day, somebody commented on one of my videos saying that women could not be abusive and that what I was saying was wrong. And I didn't want to argue back, but my friend Lindsay commented back saying, the creator whose post you just commented on literally has a whole playlist of domestic violence and abuse case studies within the lesbian community. So because I almost went to law school, because I have chronic OCD, so I'm always compiling lists of evidence for and against. You know, I'm an evidence girly. We are going to bring back that playlist and we're going to continue with domestic violence, abuse case studies from within the lesbian community, real life stories. I'm going to try and share them as respectfully as possible, as I did before. I'm not at all meaning to sensationalize these cases, to give the killers any more coverage than they deserve. I'm meaning to spread awareness that the lesbian community is misunderstood. People don't necessarily take abuse as seriously in our community. And there's a lot of it. There's a lot of toxicity. There is abuse. Abuse knows no gender. Never has, never will. And I've been passionate about spreading this message and advocating for victims of abuse within the lesbian community since I started this account. So yeah, I hope that this helps disprove dumb beliefs and points that women can't be abusive, because they goddamn can't. So without further ado, let's get into today's case. Again, thank you to the ignorant comment for motivating me to bring back this series, and thank you to Lindsay for also reminding me this series was a thing. So today I'm going to share the story of Rebecca Lynn Klein. Rebecca was better known as Becky. She was born on April 4th, 1974, and she was a bright, beautiful young woman. She was a Chicago native. She grew up in a high, middle to upper class family in the north side of Chicago. As a teenager, she attended Streamwood High School and later became a graduate of Illinois State University. This is a picture of Becky that I found online. She was described as a compassionate soul who actually opened up a senior daycare and dedicated quite a lot of her time to the elderly. So when she met Nicole Abusharif, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, she was actually engaged to somebody else and then left her partner for Nicole. Rebecca was 32 in 2007, still living with her 26-year-old domestic partner, Nicole, and they'd been together about 7 years at this point. On March 16, 2007, Rebecca's employer called their home because she hadn't shown up to work, and Nicole, the partner, then filed a missing persons report. When the police responded to this call, they quickly made a horrifying discovery, which was Rebecca's body in the trunk of the couple's car inside the garage. And she had been bound, her hands and feet were bound with duct tape. She'd also been blindfolded, gagged, and suffocated with a plastic bag. Please click on the next video for part 2.
You know what's ironic? The woman telling this story belongs to their group. She's also a lesbian. Just to show that violence has no gender, that it's not always the man who ruins or mistreats in a relationship. Because every story a woman tells when she divorces is that she left her abuser. Yet there are women more abusive than men. As boys, we're told from childhood that we must control our emotions because an emotional man is a danger to society. That's why the government keeps making laws to control men's emotions. But women are told to connect with their emotions. That's why women are faithful to their emotions, making decisions based on them. But they'll never admit this because responsibility is like kryptonite for women. Men will always be seen as abusers. Just hearing, she left her relationship for Becky. How many of us men haven't been left for someone else? We all know it's always because they cheated before leaving you. What doesn't start well, doesn't end well. Look at how Becky ended up, stuffed in a trunk. Let's see how the second part ends.
Hi guys, so this is part 2 of the case study of Becky Klein and her murder at the hands of her partner, Nicole Abusharif. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So where we had left off, police had responded to a missing persons report and a call, and they found Rebecca's body in the trunk of the car that she shared with her partner, and it was in quite a state. I explained it in the previous video, don't need to repeat what she was found like. The police put together a timeline and they believe that she was murdered the day before on the 15th, and suspicion fell on Nicole very, very quickly after she told police she didn't have the keys to the trunk of the car, as well as just other strange behaviour after Becky's death by Nicole. And police, after they tested the evidence, found Nicole's DNA on the tape, on the rubbish bags and the bandanas that were used to gag and blindfold her partner. They also discovered that Nicole was the sole beneficiary of quite a hefty life insurance policy in Becky's name. And authorities also discovered that Nicole had been dating another woman that she'd met online named Rose, and that financial gain and wanting to be with Rose instead of Becky were her motivations for the murder. It actually came out during her trial that she went bowling the night she killed her partner with Rose, the other girl she was talking to, and they partied together, and then she actually brought Rose back to the house that they shared. Rose also testified during the trial that Nicole had given her keys to the car where Rebecca was found as like a gift, and she also stated that Nicole told her Rebecca was just her housemate and not her partner. It came out that Nicole had lied about a bunch of other stuff, such as that she was a firefighter who had been decorated for her service at Ground Zero after 9/11, and that she was accepted into an elite corps of firefighters, the rescue squad. She also told Rose, the girl she was cheating on Becky with, that she had been successfully treated via a transplant for liver cancer, and then told Rose that she was a heavy drinker and she couldn't control her alcoholism, therefore her body would reject the new liver. Apparently, she went as far as to take Rose to a funeral home and dramatically selected the casket she wanted to be buried in, and that she wanted a firefighting logo inscribed on the coffin. And obviously this was really traumatizing for Rose, who broke down in tears. Very typical for abusers to like pathologically lie about stuff. Just thought I'd add that in because of course she told her all that stuff. Her defense and her claim that the cancer and firefighter was just a fun fantasy game that she played with Rose. Yikes. In May 2009, a jury convicted Nicole of first-degree murder after around 13 hours of deliberations, and the prosecutor described Klein, a caregiver for disabled people, as a flower in God's garden on earth, and said Abu Sharif was the bottom of the barrel. Click on my next video for part 3, the final part, and I'm going to talk about some of the defense arguments.
The worst enemy of a woman is another woman. This woman made it clear that everything a woman does to a man, she did to another woman. One wanted to leave her, keeping his money, typical of women. 2. She lied to her partner and to the new partner. Rose, typical of women. She deceived all her partners, making her relationships toxic, typical of women. Then we hear that the man is the abuser, please. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Remember, she left her commitment when she was cheating with Becky. Now she's cheating with Rose. In short, whoever gets involved loses. Indeed, Becky lost big time. It was game over for her. That's why when I hear the story that starts with, "He was an abuser," when many have ruined men's lives like Becky's, it's clear that with men, women always get their way. If it had been a man, he would have taken everything in a divorce. But since they're women, this move was going to backfire. She wanted the money from the life insurance policy, typical of a woman trying to take all the money from the man that he's worked for in a divorce, then go start a new life with her new love. Do you see all the similarities? A wolf is a wolf even if it dresses as a sheep. This makes it clear that men aren't always the problem nowadays, that even among themselves, they can't get along. That's why men are giving up on dating, because they don't want to deal with these modern women. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What did you think of these stories? What similarities did you see in your relationships with women? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.